Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me back home. I've been up in Ontario in Red Lake for the last 15 years, but I grew up here, went to university here, and getting back for the exploration in Newfoundland is really exciting for me. I have only been working with AuMEGA for 4 weeks, so I'm not 100% familiar with all our slides and the names and things like that, so I don't want to butcher it. So I did bring up my exploration manager here, Giles Dodds. He's been on the project for over 4 years and knows this better than anybody else in the province, I feel. So until I get my feet a little more wet, I'm just going to hand it over to him so I don't make a fool of myself. And yeah, here he is, our favorite Australian, at least mine. So, yeah, thanks, man.
I guess I can't pretend I'm Ricky now. Disclaimer statements you'll find on our website if you want to look at lately. But yeah, we're AuMEGA Metals now, formerly Labrador Mining. We went through a name change this year, coincided with a listing on the TSX as well, so transitioning our business to Canada. Southwest Newfoundland is where we're looking for gold deposits, looking for large gold deposits here, similar to our neighbours further up the belt at Calibre. So yeah, we've got a district scale land package over 2 projects on the Cape Ray Shear Zone and the Hermitage Flexure. Significant potential for major discoveries on this belt are proven by Calibre to the north. And most of these belts have got limited exploration to date, but the main thing we like about this area is it's the right geological setting, it's the right rocks, it's the right area. Calibre's proven it can host multi-million ounce deposits, and other companies are starting to take interest to this side of the world with El Dorado Gold coming into the north of us as well. For 2024, we kickstarted our year more or less with a technical workshop with some of our biggest shareholders, all our board members and all our local geology team here, and we really felt we needed to reassess our target portfolio, reintegrate it into a new targeting methodology system based off mainly a lot of our exploration methodologies were deployed over the years and refined, such as broad scale, RC, bottom of hole, base of till work. So what we wanted to do was get a better grasp on our targeting matrix system, but also develop that pipeline as being discussed by other companies for early stage, intermediate and advanced stage exploration. When we talk about early, intermediate, advanced, we're talking about wanting to take our early stage conceptual ideas based off of some broad scale geophysical programs, go through the intermediate stage where we're going to test it with some bottom of hole, base of till kind of drilling with an RC rig, and then our advanced stage targets we see as bringing in the diamond drill rig to promote and advance new discoveries. 2024 was a pretty busy year for us. It's probably the most comprehensive program we've had in quite a while. Smaller budget, but still pretty comprehensive. We completed our inaugural winter bottom of hole RC drill program up at Malachite. We did about 3,000 metres of drilling in the greenfields and brownfields environment. We flew some high-res geophysics at Bunker Hill that was lacking it, and we also done some broad geochemical programs such as till programs up around intersection, which was the first time we've gotten up there as a company. So yeah, Malachite, this winter we are pretty proud of our achievements. We got in there with a RC base of till bottom of hole sampling program to develop a small drill program for this year. We've been trying to get this methodology down packed over the last couple of exploration seasons, but I feel like we're finally getting somewhere where we can continue to deploy this efficiently and effectively. So yeah, we got up there all winter, drove around over snow, did a 157 hole drill grid over Malachite. The idea of this is to drill through the overburden that's everywhere in Newfoundland and inhibitive to exploration. So we took a representative base of till sample and also a top of bedrock sample, or a bottom of hole sample as it's called, on 157 different stations. The results for this were very encouraging for us. We identified 3 new larger mineralised zones in there based off of bedrock and pathfinder elements, and coupled that with the alteration mineralogy as well. So what we did end up doing is coming up with about 5 drill holes we wanted to test this summer, and then just see what is actually going on in this area. The Malachite area we've focused on the last few years, and it's still quite complex, and we're trying to get a handle on it. So we put 5 drill holes in. One of the eye-opening areas for us was O2 West. You can see down there in the southwest area of the map. This is a large kind of east-west splay off of the Cape Ray Shear Zone. We had ironically walked over this thing a few times a couple of summers before and wouldn't have even known the potential that was there. One of our RC holes at the bedrock interface intersected 627 ppb of gold and 2% copper. And multiple stations across this line also were very indicative of hydrothermal fluids and interesting pathfinder elements. Results are still pending on this program, so we'll update you in the near term. We went back to the resource corridor for the first time in a few years on the project. That was off the back of our mineral resource update in 2023, getting a better understanding of the controls of the mineralisation in there. And as Melissa and Nick have also mentioned, we wanted to test these systems at depth. Believe it or not, this thing has been drilled since the late 70s and the deepest hole is still only 600 metres. So as you can see here, we got some encouraging results from 2 holes in the 4 and 41 systems. We are respectively 3.5 grams over 7 metres and close to 2 grams over 7 metres. So here's a view of the long section. What we found compelling for us was the down plunge extent in zone 41. This is this northeast plunge there is controlled by the local folding. So what we can also now extrapolate that deposit down plunge, but also it opens up the potential for the intersection between zone 41 and zone 4. Hole 381 we put down below zone 4. That hole is actually 175 metres down plunge from our underground resource there. So these things are continuing at depth, and we have a lot of follow-up to do on this area, which is quite exciting. So the grade's still there, the depth's still there, and this is open. So it goes to show that exploration, even within these that have been drilled for 40 years, still has opportunity. And we're continuing further targeting in this corridor. So currently we're underway. We're doing some targeting at the Big Pond West area. You can see there highlighted by the red polygon. That's an area, Windsor Point Group, still a very thickened portion of the Windsor Point Group there, which hosts majority of our resource. Complex fold geometries and structural architecture. And we're about to deploy airborne EM survey over this area to help us target the graphitic schist horizons that the ore is hosted in. And not to mention our ore is also very sulfide rich, as you can see in this. So we believe we should be able to come up with some pretty high priority drill targets off the back of this survey. This summer we got up to Bunker Hill for the first time for the project. Bunker Hill is the east-west portion of the Cape Ray Shear Zone there. When this works, it's been marked by a lot of historical samples up that way. We actually finally got up there this summer to verify these samples and build upon. So we're seeing it's about 50, 60 kilometres north of Cape Ray Shear Zone. We're starting to see a lot of differences from our deposit to the south there. This is like looking a lot more epizonal in nature. Geochemistry is changing a lot. There's a lot of samples, a lot more copper rich, upwards of 17% copper, 15 grams silver, half gram gold. So what we wanted to do was just, verify if these numbers were correct in the database, but build upon them and come up with a working model. What we find interesting up there is a unit called the nitty-gritty granite. I'd say this is kind of analogous to the window glass hill we have back in the Cape Ray Shear Zone. This is just one of those intrusive bodies that's entrained in the shear zone and has been prettily deformed, as you can see in that package. So we're starting to do our structural mapping up there and try and tie this area together. We flew a geophysical program over that this summer, 60-metre line space high-res airborne magnetics, and this is only a preliminary map. We're still waiting on the final data set, but this does really get us very encouraged for this area. It's got the structural complexity, structural anomaly for the island being in an east-west orientation, and as you can see in that image, this area is dilating along the Cape Ray Shear Zone. The sedimentary packages are coming back in, and along that whole stretch, everywhere there's outcrop, there's high-grade gold and copper samples. So, yeah, we're really excited on this area, and we're getting pretty bullish with it. And then I go in this winter and do a 2,000 to 3,000 hole RC program, follow-up diamond drill throughout, and some targeted IP surveys. So, yeah, we're excited for this winter to come. Intersection, which is our furthest kind of project to the north on the Cape Ray Shear Zone. We got there this summer for the first time. We did a broad-scale till survey over this area. It was the biggest till survey we've done since Malachite back in 2021. So as we wanted just to see what gold might be up here, this is 100-metre stations, 800-metre space lines, and what we ended up coming away with is 4 broad target areas that all sit in like either key structural positions or within lithological units of interest. So target area 1 is a huge broad anomaly in the Windsor Point Group up there, And yeah, and then like other things like target area 3 of these large northeast splays off the intersection fault there, and 7-kilometre trend of golden till right along this structure. So we're going to get up there next summer, do a little bit more mapping and put some reconnaissance drill holes into this and see what we've got. Hermitage has been kind of continuing on in the background for the company over the last few years. We've done a few prospecting campaigns over 2022 to 2024. We've now found multi-gram gold in bedrock upwards of 7 grams per tonne. 17 samples over 100 ppb of gold throughout this system, and there was no really historical work done on this area before we got here. So we asked, it's a different system to Cape Ray. We're seeing a lot of similarities what Newfound Gold has further up. You know, these are Ordovician turbidite sequences, you know, that arsenic antimony association with gold there. But what we're seeing more often we go there is significant hydrothermal activity. There's large areas of outcropping quartz veins and veins arrays in multiple locations across this project. We got there this summer, did some structural mapping, so we're trying to tie that history there together as we speak. Unfortunately, we had some delays on some airborne surveys, which we would have liked to have in hand with this, but we're flying right now, and then we're going to compile all this data to go in there next year and start putting some drill holes in this thing after a few years. So yeah, that's pretty much our year at Cape Ray and Hermitage. Thank you for having us.